You take my breath away. I am so proud to be in this room with all 200 of you. It is astonishing. Not the greatest situation when you're about to speak to have your breath taken away, but I'll put up with it. I've been thinking at the back of the room there for the last 2 days about words. And to me, words, they're just really, really important. And I am clearly the beneficiary of some tremendously good marketing and graphics design, because the first word of the 2 words I'm going to talk about that came to my mind was rebel. And I thought about, so why am I a rebel? And it's so clear, right? It's because I wasn't able to save Jack. So we lost Jack 8 years ago. He was in his first year of university at Queen's, and he slipped through our fingers. He didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what was happening. The people around him didn't know what was happening. And Eric and I became determined that that wasn't going to happen anymore. And it's a long road, right? So that's why I'm a rebel. And then I thought some more, and I thought, hey, wait a second, why do I have to be a rebel? Why can't I just be a calm, middle-aged woman who looks incredibly young for her age, making tremendously measured, confident, successful progress on a mission? Why do I have to be a rebel? And I realized it's because it's hard. Right? We are tackling an incredibly hard subject. It's hard because we are tackling things at the institutional level. We're tackling things at the government policy level, at the government budget level. And at the core of why we're tackling it is people's mental health and the suffering that results when we're not taking care of it, when we don't get the support and the help that we need. So it is hard at the core of it. And it's also hard because there is no game plan. There is no assured, confident, successful path. I Googled it. I Googled, which is my favorite thing, to see what would come up if I put in best way to solve mental health for young people with youth leaders in Canada. And you know what comes up? We do. So there is no ready-made game plan out there for us. We are figuring it out, and it is our way to figure it out. And then the third thing I thought about, what makes it really hard and why we need to be rebels, is because it can feel lonely, right? You can feel like you're the only one in a crowd trying to fight for a cause and trying to make a difference. And so we need to be rebels. But here's the thing. We can't fix the fact that the subject we're tackling together is hard. It is hard. It just is. And we can't pretend that away. But what we can do is use Jack.org, use the summit, and use each other. The fact that we are not 200 individual points of light. We are a national network of youth leaders that are having tons of contact out into the broader community. And that is how we tackle the challenge of dealing at an institutional level, at a government policy level, at a government funding level. That is how we deal with the challenge of feeling alone sometimes, is we lean on each other. We use that network for our power, but also for our benefit. And that's why we need to be rebels, but rebels together. So the second word, I know you're terrified now because I made so much out of one word. You're terrified I'm moving on to a second word now. So the second word also is clearly in my head because of some relentless branding work and awesome t-shirts, because the second word is movement. And the reason I love the word movement is because it's the heart of why we're here together today, because it's about action, right? It is about action. It is not just about having had our minds blown by the conversations today and ideas planted in our heads. It is about taking action and making a difference. And so here is my ask. Here is our Jack.org ask of you. If you are already part of a chapter, one of our 152 chapters, that is so awesome. But my ask is, find a way to have even greater impact. Find a way for it to be even more inclusive if you're already at maximum impact. And if you're not part of a chapter, really, why not? If you have been blown away, as I have, by the quality of the speakers that we've had up on this stage, and you see the power of people being able to use their voice to make connections, to change minds, to expand horizons, think about being a Jack Talk speaker. More than 250 talks across the country already, but more is better. We have 92 trained speakers. Think about applying to be a speaker. And if your thing has been, wow, the power of leaders collaborating at a summit like this is extraordinary because it is the most leverage you can possibly have when you go back into your community, I ask you to think about starting a regional summit. We have 12 of them now, but it is an incredibly effective way of being able to galvanize a community. And so when you wear your t-shirts, or maybe you frame your t-shirt, I want you to think about that word movement and think about it as a reminder to you that your job is to take action. And here's what I know. I know it's going to be hard. And I know you're going to make progress. And the hard part's okay, because after all, we are rebels with a cause. Thank you.